Are you ready for this sickness? Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to Economics and Comics. So, I thought I would do this for you guys. I spent about 3 hours reading comics. I read a bunch. But I have 10 books right here. And I wanted to give you a brief. This is going to be a fast video. But there's 10 books. They're all number ones. And I'm going to tell you which ones I think are going to be worthwhile to keep going at. Keep, my little weak ass hair. Keep reading and stuff. And some that could probably, in the long run, be a movie or something like that. So we're just going to get right into it. I got 10 books, okay? First, The Love She Offered, okay? So basically, this book, this girl is murdered, okay? They don't even show it, but which is fine. But the beginning, right off the bat, some people kidnap the guy, and it's the dad of the girl that got murdered, and they're like interrogating him. They think he did it, and they're beating him and stuff like that. And he won't say anything. Basically, they're gonna call in like a interrogator to help them keep interrogating him. And then he has a little memory of him like running down the kid when he's tied up. It shows him like running down the street with a knife. Oh, why? Why did I do it? Or whatever. So kind of implying that he did do it, but he's not telling him. So I'm telling you guys, it's low print, and I could see already. I'm going to get number 2. So I suggest getting this if you can. I'm going to get number 2. I don't know how long the series is. Probably a couple books. But I could definitely see this turning into a movie. I don't know, though. But this is good. Okay? Next. Reaver number 1. Now, initially it was kind of boring at first. I'm like, oh my god, here we go. But then they like put together this team of like villains in another time. They all have like little powers and stuff like that. And they're trying to stop, I think, Satan's son or something like that. You know what? It kind of put me to sleep. I gotta be honest. There was a couple good parts, but, and I could be 1,000% wrong. This could become a show, whatever. I didn't really like it as much. So I'm gonna make 2 piles. It's okay. This book's okay, but I'm gonna make one that I really suggest and one that I'm like on the fence on. Okay? So there's 2 books. Now, Unearth number 1. It's interesting. I kind of like it. There's like a disease or something that's like turning people into like these giant blob things, and they're they go under the earth, and there's like another world down there. There's this giant monster, and they get trapped down there. I'm gonna get another one, so I'm not 100 on it, but I'll put it in my okay list. Okay. Now, Second Coming number 1. Okay. This book is pretty funny. It's actually pretty darn good. So, it shows like God, and it talks about God creating everything, and he's like fed up with everybody. And Jesus is there the whole time in heaven. And Jesus said, well, let me go down and give it a try. And he's like, yeah, you go kick their ass, Jesus. And he goes down there, and of course they crucify him. And he's like, you're already back after 33 years. And he said, you're not going back down there, because he said he was going to come back, like the return of Jesus. And he's like, no, you're not going back down there. And so like later on, they're like watching Earth and stuff. And there's a superhero, and he's like fighting crime and all this. And the superhero and his wife can't have a baby. So Jesus God's like, you know what? I'm going to send you back down there, and you're going to learn from this guy, because people idolize him and they love him and stuff, and you need to be like that. So they send him. They can't have a kid, so he sends him down. He's like, will you take my son? And like, well, okay. So he like moves in, and like he's trying to teach him the ropes of how to be a superhero. It's actually really funny. I will be getting the next one for sure. Okay. Killers number 1. Now, I really liked it. This could it reminds me of Kill Bill kind of, but these killers they tap into their chi more, and they have extra powers. One guy's like invincible to like bullets and there's someone hunting down these ninjas. Okay, they're a lot older than they look too. They've been around for a while. It's very interesting. I like it. I like stuff like this. So I will be getting number 2 as well. Okay, Man or Black, number 1. It's kind of interesting. It's not really my style. But there's something going on where the guy needs to pass on his powers or something to the next person to watch over them. And there's, an accident and some other little things happen. It's kind of interesting, and it might end up being something cool and picked up. I'm not sure. But you know what? I feel like I should read number 2 just to make sure that it doesn't get better. It's okay though. I don't know. I'm on the fence on it. So I'll put it on my on the fence pile. I have 2 piles. One yes and one kind of no. But don't get me wrong. It could be something good. Now, history of the Marvel Universe. Okay, this is a pretty intensive read. But it's really good because it starts basically Richards and Galactus are the last people. It's almost over. The world's almost over. And he's like, well, I want to remember when we get reborn or whatever. I want to remember everything. And he's like, well, what do you mean everything? He's like, everything. He says, fine. So Galactus sits down and he's going to tell him everything from the beginning. Like, this whole Marvel Universe came from another universe. Like the beginning of our universe. And so Galactus starts from the beginning. And what's really interesting is it breaks down every character from the beginning. Like all the powerful gods and Omega level mutants or whatever. Everything from the beginning. It ends kind of like right when they're talking about Wolverine. But there is so much information in here. I suggest picking it up. Just if you're new to comics and I guess it's kind of hard to understand, but it's really cool. So I suggest picking it up if you want to like get a refresher. It is going to tell you everything about every character, I believe. Pretty cool. Okay, now I'm the X-Men guy, okay? But I got House of X and Power of X. Now, here's the problem. There's no problem, it's good. But there's a reading order, of course, and my dumbass, I read Powers of X first, and that's the second book. So the second book was it was good, but it was kind of confusing. So you have to read them together, in an order, okay? But honestly, I read Powers of X first, which was wrong. Okay? But then I read House of X. And I gotta tell you, I really, really liked House of X. I know they go together, and it was the beginning, but I really liked House of X. It basically, not to spoil too much, but, all the mutants are together now, and Professor X makes a deal with humans. Like, look, I'll give you the ability to not get sick anymore, to expand your life, and something else. But you're gonna let us have our own world, and we're gonna let you have the world, but we're gonna have a little part of it and a special place for us that only we can go. And he's trying to make a deal with humans. But what was really interesting, the story's really good, and this is gonna be great. Okay, all of them are gonna be great. I'm just kind of telling you the House of X at the beginning. But what I really like about it at the end, I'm going to really show you really quick because we're almost getting close to being done here. But I think it's important that I do these reviews so you can, if you kind of want to just go by my thoughts on things, this is an easy way because I just read 10 books. At the very end, they're like convincing the people. Magneto is the one convincing everybody he says, Magneto says, "You see, I know how you humans love your symbolism almost as much as you love your religion. And I needed you to understand you have new gods now." That's cool, dude. Like, even if they don't accept Professor X's offer, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You're going to do it either way. That's what she said. And last up is Leaving on the Light. I read this before. I'm pretty sure this has already been picked up. What's interesting about this, and it's all Antarctic Press stuff, horror comics, Leaving on the Light. I think another one's coming out. Bradley Cooper, or God dang it, I was at Bradley Golden. Write it. Now it's pretty rough. I mean, it's a pretty twisted horror comic. But, you know, they're introducing killers and stuff like that. And all these different comics are going to cross over from what I've heard. This has definitely been picked up to be a show or something. All these different horror comics are going to have their own little, like, run. And then they're all going to connect into one book. And it's going to be a crossover. So get on this. Leave it on the light. Okay? So that's your 10 books. So I'm on the fence about these ones. Men Are Black and Reaver. Okay? I'm on the fence on those. Of course, I'm going to be reading all the Hickman stuff. And it's going to be good. And this is that they're trying to, you know, reboot X-Men, get it going good. And I think they're doing a good job. If you want to learn a lot about Marvel history, this is really intense. There's going to be a couple of them, I think. It's really good. There's little pieces, just one little thing of one character, one of another. It's fun, and you can get a little piece of it. I think this book has legs. Killers. I would say get on it. Second Coming's really funny. If you want, it's funny and interesting. If you like that type of stuff, it's fun to read. It's a good read. And then Unearth is, I don't want to hate on it, but it kind of has the same feel as all the rest of, like, weird supernatural, like, science books. I don't know, but who knows nowadays? I'm on the fence on that too. The Love She Offered, I think, is good, and it's kind of dark, and I'm telling you, I could see it as a movie, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed my little reviews on stuff. Hopefully that'll help you guys. Some of those books are kind of hot, but maybe get on them now before they get even hotter, before something happens. I hope you guys enjoyed this little preview of all these books, and I'll try to do this more often. Maybe every 2 weeks I'll do a big giant one. That's what she said. And get it to you as soon as I can, okay? Love you guys. Have a great one. Watch this new Comic Book Day early access video for 8/14 coming up right now. It'll clue you in on some new stuff, okay? Have a good one. Bye. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that video, please hit that like button and subscribe now. Here's another video for your sickness entertainment. Have a great one. Bye-bye.